Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Oh, welcome, beautiful hearts. We have another episode in this Quantum Conversation Summit series. This is energy healing and well-being. And one of the greatest ways to really learn about energy healing is if you actually need it in your life. My guest today, Candice Davis, is a walk-in from Andromeda, and she used energy healing to help her ground in this earthly realm. We're going to hear about her energy healing work, as well as this fascinating story of walk-ins. Hi, Candice. Thank you so
Hello.
much.
Yes, thank you so much, Lauren, for having me on your show. It's divine timing, so I'm really so excited. All of my entourage here is excited to be here at this time. Thank you.
Wow, we can feel your entourage. And I just want to say your background image is so perfect. It's almost as if you are radiating that light, and you are. And this is what you help people here on planet Earth do. So we're going to start by first diving into your walk-in experience. This is such a fascinating topic, and people who are watching or listening to this program are quite familiar with it, possibly quite familiar with it. Some may not know what that is or be intrigued by it. Can you share with us your story? What happened? When did this happen?
Yes, I'd love to. So I'll go back a little bit before I came fully present in this body known as Candice. So in 2018, I got really sick. I had a heart failure moment. I was working as a assistant principal, actually at a school for homeless children in at the urban center of where I live. And so education had been a big part of my life up until that point, and you work with a lot of students. So ended up during at school having to have the fire department come and pull open the shirt and just, it was a traumatic experience probably for a lot of students to see their assistant principal like down the road in an ambulance. But ended up over the course from 2018 to 2020, just in a tank with my health. I was already on a spiritual path, really since 2012, and dived into the esoteric realm, coming back from a very Christian based belief system. So I grew up not believing in God, fell into a Christian church, was saved, baptized, that whole thing in college in the 90s, and then sort of left that realm and started dabbling in different kinds of spirituality. One of my sons, I've raised 7 kids, had a near-death experience, and that was also, I've come to find out, a pivotal time in my life that changed my own timeline. And so, leading up to the cardiovascular event, I was a seeker. I was a searcher. I was a seer. I was having a lot of deja vu moments, a lot of moments where I predicted something would happen and it would. Very much a lucid dreamer. And so, it was sort of the pulling of strings within my timeline as a human soul here on this planet. So through 2018 to 2020, up to COVID, I was in the dark, fumbling around like a lot of us, like, what is happening to me? Why am I gonna die? Because health stuff was that serious. And I was getting Reiki, I was getting, different acupuncture, natural health part before I became a teacher. I was a medical herbalist and I spent 4 years studying Ayurveda in Chinese medicine. So I knew about how to find balance in the body, but nothing was working, Lauren. Nothing was working for me. COVID happened, and I was right before COVID, I was fired from my job, which was a shock. The grant ran out of money, and so we had to close the school for homeless children. I'm like, what do you mean? You know, this is my purpose, you know, to see these kids get a high school diploma. And it was over. You know, I think spirit sometimes has to really break things, you know, just to kind of end it, cut it off. And I was really fortunate to have my COVID experience at home, helping people cross over. And that was when my Palladian aspect, I actually kind of had two walk-in experiences. One night during in the lockdown, I was pulled from my bed in an out-of-body experience by a beautiful golden angel over there on my shoulder. That's sort of my interpretation of it. Beautiful golden angel. And it was the higher aspect of me that was walking in. So it was a very much played in energy. And they took me out of my bed, took me up into a sky very similar to what you see behind me, and was like, "Are you ready to work?" And it was this inner acknowledgement, like, "Yes, put me in, put me in, coach. I'm ready to go," you know. So I was down in Italy and I spent probably 8 months every single night working in the etheric, helping souls that died from COVID cross over. And it was very lucid. Like I was in this human body as now, in my pajamas, wearing different clothing, like a human being there in hospitals, in homes, in streets, working with quite a few homeless population that just succumbed to the disease on the streets. And so in the trenches doing work with my galactic family, other light workers, some of which I have met through different conferences. And we helped move people into the light for their transition. And that's something that I have done on other planets as well, come to find that out. So after about 9 months, I was still unhealthy, still eating a lot of ice cream because that was helping me manage the mental aspects of surviving without sleep because it was very hard on this physical body to have time in the etheric realm and in other countries to move souls on. And so when I went back to school into the public school system as a teacher in the fall of 2020, and, you know, the education system is still one that is jumping timelines. So there's hope for all of those who have kids or they're themselves in the education system. So there's hope. There's so much guidance there by light workers who are moving things forward for our children. And but it was hard. And that's really my why of coming up with surviving sensitivity, because over the next 4 years, I was doing my nighttime energy work, healing my body, and dealing with a lot of anxiously prone adults, confused and scared, fear-based kids, all trying to learn, right, and meet the expectations of their society. So it was in the trenches day and night for me, but that brought a sense of resilience and a sense of purpose to my life that if I hadn't gone through that system on both night and day, you know, I never would have fully realized what my purpose was. So just for sake of time, fast forward to the full walk-in experience was at a spiritual retreat. Again, always a seeker. And I was at a spiritual retreat in Georgia from Bonnie Satori with spiritual acceleration. And it was in person. I was going through a Kundalini exercise and some breath work. And I felt this massive energy leave my body. Like if I could be pulled up by the heart, you know, like on a tightrope, and then all of a sudden a crash. And I came out of that experience gasping for air, crying. And luckily I had mentors that were there, Bonnie Satori, and she sort of relaxed me because I felt like I had been underwater and I was drowning. And then it was just that, just this rush of air and of soul inside of me. And I didn't know what happened. I was like, wait a minute. You know, I was laying there, everything felt heavy. My body felt heavy. I couldn't move for a while. I was like sprawled out on the floor. And she's like, just let the light come. And I saw a whole bunch of angels, shapes, fairies, different angelic beings that were helping the andromenan aspect, which I didn't find out till 2022. This was in October of 2021. So it was a whole year before I realized I found the right person to help me figure out what the heck happened. So while I'm working as a principal in a school, so I have a day job and trying to process this huge change in my life, but I remember it when that aspect of me came back from Andronema. I couldn't remember how many kids I had. And I was like, wait a minute, how many kids I have? Oh my gosh, I have six. And I started laughing. I was like, wow, when did that happen? I forgot how to drive. I'm in a rental car, I ended up getting in an accident because I couldn't remember how to drive. I'm like, this is crazy. I have to coordinate all these things. And it was hilarious. The biggest thing was funny is I felt my boobs felt my body, my belly, and I'm like, wow, the body is an amazing thing. And as soon as I came back home from Georgia, I got more sick. People always talk about how, the beautiful spirit and love and it heals you and that happens, but not for me. I had
Mhm.
another heart event. I was in the hospital 3 times over the course of a year, trying to figure out what was going on. And really, what I know was going on was my body was adjusting right to the higher frequencies, to the light. But it was a whopper. I caught everything. I caught COVID for the very first time after my walk-in experience. I caught the flu almost every year. And I'm like, okay, this is just what it is. I almost had to experience everything that other humans experience so I would know and I can internalize and then transmute that energy. So, yeah, the health crisis continued despite energy work and becoming a unity field healing, studying with Dr. John Ryan. And so that really helped me activate the 24th chromosome in my body and align myself with my original human blueprint. So, as someone who is a walk-in, there really is a zipping up that I had to do between already a Palladian soul and my Andromedan aspect had to work as one. And so, it taught me and really how to zip up and be whole and complete because that's needed from every light worker here so we can be out in public. So that was still my walk-in experience. I'm learning things about being human all the time. I know how to eat now. I know what foods help me and don't help me, but I forgot everything in that fall of 2021 when that aspect just crashed into me, like the song.
Wow. Okay. Well, your experience is so interesting. And it's almost, I've got lots of questions here, but I want to go to the health crisis in your walk-in. And so the walk-ins, it seems like that was it seems like it's higher aspects of yourself, like all of your galacticness coming in, being present, but yet you still had to learn how to drive, relearn how to drive, and get along as a human on the planet. Would you agree that it's higher aspects of yourself, higher aspects rather than a whole new soul coming in?
Yes, so for me, yes. And there's a lot of us out there on this earth at this time who may have had an experience similar to mine, but not really sure what it is. So I was not a complete soul exchange. So I was, what I have found out was a soul emergent walk-in. So emerging with the soul like a braid, like a soul braid,
Yes.
which was Palladian, that was already in the body, that had been in the body for multiple lifetimes. And so what emerged was another aspect of my, Sheila Sheppy was extremely, and William Linville, of helping me. Those are both walk-ins, really adjust to this. And so, I'll use Sheila's example of the oversoul. And then, this is your aspect. Well, I have quite a few that present in healing opportunities. And since then, actually, in the last few months, I've come to find the mantis aspect of myself will come forward. And so, as a soul emergent walk in and also a soul architect, which is how they presented my original soul. Working in the etheric, that this is a time for me to really be here on this planet. And I just hope that I live a very long time. in this body. And one of the things that William Linville asked me, who was there when I had the soul, the Andromedan aspect walk into me. And I came up and he's like, "Hey, how you going?" If you've ever met William, he's a very bubbly character. And I'm like, "Hi, I'm new here." Was, my first words that I say. And he told me, "How long are you staying?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." How long am I staying? So, it's just one of those things that we're only here temporarily. And if I can help anybody on this planet to just live more in this body and call in more of your aspects so we can, raise the consciousness of Mother Earth. That's why I'm here.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming in to our planet at this time. It really is beautiful. And it's remarkable because you are revealing to us how galactic we are, how many aspects of us, of our soul exists, and you're bringing it all in. It's so beautiful. So let me ask, when maybe people have asked you, how would we identify if this is going on with us? Have you been asked that question? Or do you have insight as to how we would recognize that this is happening to us?
I think if you're watching this show, it has.
Oh,
And what rises from within. And so part of my mission is really this comes from within you. So sometimes, growing up in a Christian tradition, you learn to pray to God and, the angels and stuff that's outside of you, but you have all of that in here. And so, just the asking of the question, I wonder if my galactic family is trying to work through me. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And, they always tell me, my sources never give me any answers. And that's on purpose because you have the answer. And when I work with family, I don't call them clients, I call it family. And when I work with family, that's the whole premise is that you will only find your answers rising from within. So even just in the asking of the question, yes. Yes, you have galactic origins. Yes, they work through you to raise your own life, the life of others, and humanity. And Gaia, can't forget her.
I absolutely love that. And I think that is worthy of a sticky note. You will only find the answers coming from within. And we've heard this time and time again. The spiritual teachers say, you know what you know, what you know, what you know within. And so, what a remarkable, beautiful example that you're giving all of us as you contemplate this and integrate your soul energies into all of you. And so, when you say Candice, did you change your name or is this the Candice that was here before?
No, this is me. I still I worked, I have, a professional educational LinkedIn page, Candice
Yeah.
Davis. Did not change my name. And all of us have this within us. And so I still had to work, a day job that I just quit June 1st of this year.
Oh,
And back in January, assistant principal, we large school working with kids. And as soon as I implemented a mindfulness-based program, I taught a class on meditation. My district was wonderful in allowing me to bring some of the Lemurian teachings through to the school. And
wow.
so once that was finished, I got really sick again. I was in the hospital, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? And again, from within came, you're not living your purpose. Like, you're not living your purpose. Let this chapter close. And so I left at the end of the school year in June, and everybody was like, what? You got bills to pay. It's a world. We live in this 3D world, and it's just I had to live. And so many of us are in a position where we feel stuck or we feel like making that leap is too hard. And know that source knows that higher aspect of yourself knows that it's hard. It's hard to make those leaps of adjustment and change. But for me, I had to, or I could have died. I would have just succumbed to the illnesses, some random thing. That's what I was shown in a vision at night. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. I still got kids at home. I have a husband I love, married 24 years. And you do what you need to do for what you need to do for you.
Well, your story is remarkable and it's so inspiring. And I want to thank you for paying attention to your soul. First, I want to thank you for, wow, working with the kids, working as a principal, assistant principal for a school for homeless children. Oh my goodness. Right there, you were radiating beautiful light as a leader. And so this upgrade, I'm going to call it an upgrade for you because now you're stepping into your purpose, who it is, who you are meant to be. And all of us here support you in that. And we're cheerleading for you. And I absolutely love, I got big chills when you said that you created a meditation program for the school. That is so beautiful. And I want to talk about, I want to look at the bright side of that COVID experience because that in and how crazy and wild and fearful it was. I did see a huge shift. And we heard from Patricia Diane Cotter-Robles that was guidance from higher realms. And when we look at how the world paused and so many things adjusted, one of the things that came in was this need for new programs in schools, new programs everywhere on the planet, including politics, education, science, medicine, finance, all of it. But what you worked on was this school aspect because you knew what to do. And so for you to be able to instill that meditation program in the school before you left, that's so wonderful. And the fact that you said it was the Lemurian teachings. Now I have to ask, because that just melts my heart. The word Lemuria has always melted my heart. How did the kids react to that? And did you explain Lemuria was like Atlantis? Did the kids know Atlantis, or how did they respond to those Lemurian teachings?
Yeah. Well, in a school, you can't say you're offering a class on Lemuria. I'll just
Right?
get
Or
right,
in
right there. The public
any
education system, no. So back in 2014, I went through mindfulness training for educators. Still, it's a great program still through Mindful Schools. So anybody out there, there's a plug for that if you're interested. And so I knew how to teach mindfulness. And I got the opportunity from my superintendent. He's like, just run with it, do what you want to do, help these kids. So I was so blessed, and that was guided too. So for the Lemurian aspect, it's all about you're your own guide, and kids need to know that they're empowered. And so I created this 5 sort of empowerments, with compassion being number one. What does that mean to be compassionate to another student, your family, and the world? And then, of course, now I'm gonna forget some of these in the moment, but the another tenet was think locally, act globally. And so think of how you can localize your intentions, give back, whether it's a food drive. We did a lot of service in our school. It wasn't church related, but that was just one of our tenets. And, how can you think about your neighbors and also act on a global scale? Because everything you do to your family, to yourself, that affects the world, right? Because we're all connected. So really teaching them that that's a connection that we all have. And then the other third of it was really about their own inner guidance. And, teaching body techniques of when it feels, bad in your gut, honor that, and allowing the space for them and the vocabulary, because they're 6th grade through 12th grade, so they're 11, through 18. And no one's ever taught them that. No one really ever spent the time with those students there. It was inner city, suburban, to have it be okay that an emotion is coming up for them. and how to sit with that emotion and let it move through the workings of the body. And I was a science teacher, so taught biology, chemistry, and when you can couple the science with how you have this DNA and your cells are full of water, and water carries emotion and water carries an imprint, how can you imprint that on your cells? So it was a wonderful experience, lasted 2 years. And just so people know, it is in other schools. Like there are light workers as teachers all over this country and the world that are doing similar things. And there's so much hope for the education systems. It might be one of the last ones to change, but it's changing just like everything else. And you need to have hope.
Thank you. You need to have hope. And as you said before we started this, trust is a big thing as well. And as you were sharing that this inner wisdom comes from within us, trusting that is really key. Well, Candice, I am so impressed by you and the way that you have shown up and stepped up for New Earth. And I know others are equally impressed and love it as well. So let's talk about surviving sensitivity, because that's really what you did. And so many of us are so sensitive. I think as many of us are Blu-rays, and when you say the word Lemurian, we're Blu-rays, or even aspects of the Blu-ray, and we know that we're very sensitive. So what is required here? And you also mentioned the 24th strand of DNA. So that's very interesting. How do we survive sensitivity?
Yes. So, one day at a time, one moment at a time in the now. And the reason I had to go through so much was really because we all go through so much. And I got to the point in 2018 where I couldn't make it to the store. I ended up getting a service dog, which Boone, I found out that he is a Syrian soul in this body that came in to help me, and he does energy work with me when I'm doing unity field healing. But I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it without panic attacks every day. And so what helped me the most was not judging. And so a lot of things, and I'm getting a little bit of a download now, so excuse me as I
Oh,
transition here.
all right.
Um, but really, we need to know that we are always guided. And when we are struggling within a panic attack, there are things that we can do to help us make it one more step, right? Because you can freeze and your vagus nerve sort of goes into this fight and flight mode, and it can be scary. And oftentimes, fear begets fear begets fear. And so, one of the aspects that I teach, believe it or not, they called it the boob method. So, so it's the boob, and they're always telling me, lighten up, Candice, like, don't take life so seriously. And this came to me when I needed it at a time. And so, what I teach is the boob, and that B stands for breath. Take
Okay.
a breath, reset your vagus nerve. And I don't know, Lauren, if we'll get to the slides, but there's a representation of this. And the O stands for observe the observer. And the last B is for breathe again. But within the observing moment, when you're anxious, when you're fearful, when there's too many people at Costco, or maybe you notice a kid crying and mom being mean, right? To a kid. If you have kids, you've all been there when it's like, stop crying, stop asking for something at Target, you know, and you witness that and it aches your heart. Or maybe you see a dog on a chain in a yard being neglected. It aches, you hurt. And so when you can observe yourself in pain, bring it back to you. Surround yourself in a bubble. Some people like to use the flame of Saint Germain. Some people like to use, a circle of light, filling that circle. You're in the circle. The trigger item is in a circle. And having that circle be separate from yours, that really helped me get through everyday teaching, every day dealing with a kid crying or a bullying situation, when there's just pain, upon pain, and, putting the observer in this protected sphere of light and love, filling it with like pink shaving foam, any visualization that works for you, filling that with love, but then surrounding them with their own bubble, filling that own bubble with love, and knowing that your bubbles are separate. And that's part of the Boon Method. Boon puts a little smile on your face, to know that you can send love perfectly guided, protected from that situation. And they are too. And they are too. And one next step for that is sharing that compassionate action. And I bring this up because it happened to me the other day, real life, in Target, dealing with back to school shopping. This is in August, and we had an incident, my daughter and I, where there was a mom being, a parent who's angry, frustrated, hot, tired, and the child who is too, sitting in the shopping cart. And, it wasn't necessarily causing a scene, but as a healer, you're attuned to things like that. And I just surrounded myself first. My energy is my energy. I feel my energy bubble with love and compassion. Their energy is their energy. I fill their bubble up with love and compassion. And then I stayed curious. I stayed curious. I'm like, I wonder what their soul aspects are that's causing this. I wonder what needs to be healed in their life. I can send compassionate action, which is a very Lemurian thing I taught my students. Compassionate action is it's kind of like empathy with support. It's that supportive. And I sent this projection of them having a tender moment at home. Mother holding child, loving each other, rocking them to sleep, putting them down for a nap, mother loving herself, knowing that the day is over and it might have been hard. So I projected out into the quantum field using my 24th chromosome, my spiritual DNA, a positive aspect for them. And I felt a wave better, you know? I felt a wave better in the self. But then my work isn't done. And the third aspect of that is, why was I triggered? Can I stay curious about my own reaction? What needs to be healed in me when I saw that mom in a non-tender moment with their child? What's in me that needs healed? Dear spirit, please assist. Let that come up. And that takes time to process, especially for empaths and light workers. We have that work that we need to do. Because without doing our own work, what's the point of being here? If we're not going to do our own work, we all have to take part in doing that. So that's kind of what I teach, what I coach, as an energy coach, transformational helper, assistant with my family, my soul family, so that we can show up better when we go to Target, when we go to Costco, when we're working with the in-laws, just in life, because we are so needed here to be in the world. I mean, I would love to have a cabin somewhere. Wouldn't you, Lord? I don't know where you live, but I would love to have a cabin deep in the woods, not surrounded by anybody, on acreage, and just hold up. I just want to hold up. But, we've done that before. We've done that before. And now's the time for us to take that step out your door, and be with people. Let your light shine with people, because they'll uppick their vibration just from being in your presence.
That is so beautiful. And I love the fact that, there you were, impressing the compassionate love, healing love and energy to the two people that you saw that needed it, but that you just observed yourself as well. And you turned it back to yourself and looked at the way that you were triggered and reacting. And I love that word curious. You stayed curious. That's so beautiful. It really is. So thank you. It's a beautiful reminder about the power of light workers and how our love matters. Our light is needed everywhere.
Yes.
We did incarnate. We raised our hand high and tall to say, we've got this. If all we have to do is radiate our heart light, we've got it. And
Yeah.
so that is inspiring to all who are watching. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Okay, I know we're going to do a little healing session. This is really interesting.
Sure.
So you've spoken of the Unity Field Healing from Dr. John Ryan as part of your integration of ways that you can do healing energy healing work. So tell us more about this because again, you mentioned the 24th strand of DNA, and that's the spiritual aspect.
Yeah.
So give us a little backstory on that, and then let's do that healing session.
Of course, yes, it's time.
Okay.
So the 24th chromosome pair of DNA, we have in the esoteric tradition 12 strands of our DNA. And I was blessed to be a science teacher and learn a little bit about the physical biology of being human. But all of that junk DNA that scientists don't know what it's used for, I'll put quotes around junk DNA. That is actually a part of our etheric, spiritual, and galactic DNA that is wound up, if you will, in the 24th chromosome pair. So that pair of DNA is connected to the field. It's quantum in consciousness. It has the aspect of the Christ consciousness within it, all of the rays, all of the support from really the divine creator. And when I speak of the 24th chromosome, it's something that came into being in my life through Dr. John Ryan, who is the founder of Unity Field Healing. You can find him unityfieldhealing.com, I believe. It's all over YouTube. And he brought in this aspect of energy healing, specifically working with the human's 24th chromosome. Unlike Reiki, it doesn't work on animals, it doesn't work on plants, it doesn't really, in this sense, directly affect Gaia, but it affects every human that walks on Gaia. Every human has that 24th chromosome. It's unique to humanity. It's unique to how the creator, we fastened ourselves into these human bodies. And so the Syrian Blue White Collective is the keeper of this energy that works with the 24th chromosome to allow the human blueprint to be actualized within this physical body form. So it's a very physical form of energy healing. And it's kind of very routine. There's 3 sessions. The first one helps with clearing the chakras and sort of removing the energetic debris that we pick up within our lives through this time and space. And then the second session allows the Unity Field Healing template to sort of matricize with our DNA. And what that does is it allows us to really uptake those codes of plasma energy that's coming in from the divine. We're being showered every day, solar flares or not. We're being showered by this love and light energy right from the central sun, the direct creator itself. And so a lot of times that energy just falls right off of us, because our bodies are not in a higher vibration to capture the full essence. We'll always get some of it, but I'd rather be showered by a full shower head than just drops of water. Right. And then so what Unity Field Healing does is the template allows us to fan out and collect more of that plasma energy. So it's very specific to this new fifth and beyond dimension. It's sort of like an upgrade from Reiki that works in the lower subtle bodies of energy fields to allow balance. This is like a big net. And so we're integrating more of the light that's coming in. We're able to capture more of it. So instead of a shower head, you're getting a waterfall, which needs to be balanced in the body. And that's what the third session does. And you can do the third session multiple times because it works with your intention. How do I want to use these ways of light in me? Do I need healing in a certain aspect of my body? Do I maybe have holes in my etheric field that need to be, sewn up and sewn together? Because we're perfect beings living in an imperfect world. And so through Unity Field Healing, it helped me integrate more of who I am And every time I practice on family, people that come to me, they're all my soul family, and we help each other. And so recently I was doing a treatment on someone, and that's when the mantis people came in, and they're just great, huge, tall beings that look like praying mantises, but they're really healers. They live in the sun and on other places, and they're like, "Hi, we're ready, we're here. Thank you for calling us in." I was like, "Oh, great." Come on in, this body's water is open. Let's just go through. And there's so much help and support. And every light worker can do this. Every light worker that's here, that I've seen on your shows, that listen to this, they have that ability and it's within them. And part of what I do is help others rise to that occasion within themselves.
That is so interesting. And so, again, mantis could be your soul aspect as well, because some people would freak out. Why, how did you not freak out for all of us who are having experiences? Because we cannot freak out, or if we start to freak out, the experiences will stop, right?
Yeah.
So what do you
And
do?
I freaked out. I freaked out
I would.
a lot in my life. And I've learned to stay curious. And I really got that from being a teacher. When you teach the littles or you're teaching adolescents, especially science, stay curious. We don't know how the body works. So when they appeared to me, I had to stay curious. I don't know what I don't know, you know? Okay, and see everybody as a friend. And for a long time, up until my walk-in experience, I was afraid of demons. I learned about them in the church. I was afraid of discarnates, of ghosts, of those things. All of that seemed something to fear. And when I released that, and through just life experience and the energies that were coming in, I realized I don't know everything, and nothing is here to harm us. Nothing is here to take us over. And so that really brought a lot of peace. And even when things show up, that when I had my dragon show up, I can tell you they look pretty scary. Especially, if you've ever watched movies, TV, they looked pretty scary to me. And I had to deal with my own fear, just being conditioned as a human on this planet. So,
Thank you for that. I know that's very helpful and beneficial to everyone watching. I just want to share something. I didn't have a vision, but I did see a UFO in 2020. Oh my gosh, 20, I don't remember it. Wow, it was 2009. Wow, it's been a long time already. But then 6 months later, I had a dream, a very vivid dream, and it was wiping out the fear within me. So this is really interesting that we have to be curious, as you said. So I'm bringing it back to what you said. Stay curious about it, because there is no place for fear. So that is wonderful. Okay, well, I don't want to take too much of our time. So let's make space for the beautiful energy healing session. Thank you, Candice.
yeah. So, hmm, thank you so much for your hearts that are here at this time. Take a breath. Know that there is nothing to do. There is nothing to do. When you breathe, you are activating hope within you because you are activating this connection with who you truly are. Relax. Rest your feet on the floor. Adjust your body to how you feel it needs to be. You cannot get this wrong. There is only your way to allow the energies here. Breathing in, holding allowing the air to go all the way down to your earth star chakra between the knees. Exhaling all that no longer serves. Allowing that soul earth star chakra to connect into the heart of Gaia, wrapping your roots deep around her crystalline body, the emerald sphere of support. For Gaia has been here since your first incarnation. She is your mother. She cares for you. And she knows you care for her. Allow the embrace of Gaia to enfold you. Come up and cleanse your root, the chakras, to expand the love she feels for you in your heart. For you are perfect for her. You cannot get this wrong. You will not get this wrong. For your work is important, and your work will never be done. For in your true nature, this is already finished. Just breathe. We will put an etheric halo over our crown. This beautiful golden halo will serve as a connection to our soul family, our soul star chakra above the head, letting in the light and assistance from the Andromedans and the Palladians to allow the energy sphere to surround you from above, down, down, down to your lower aspects, coalescing into the crystalline grid and moving up into the heart, where your body has created this toroidal field of coming in, around and down, nothing to do. Receive the energies, allow the energies to permeate your head, your nervous system. Take ease and know that your mind is here for support, to get through and make sense of your three-dimensional world. Your mind is not the enemy. It is being integrated now into the energies of the heart. Invite your mind to blend with the chalice of your heart, for you need both to live, to breathe, to integrate, deepening the connection on every breath, being more and more relaxed, going deeper and deeper and deeper within your heart. allowing the energy to move through you, picking up any interferences, belief systems, patterning that no longer serves you. The mantis are here to help transition that out of the body, out through the DNA in every cells for the highest good of your soul aspect and the highest good of all there is. Only what is ready to be released shall go. Relaxing, letting go. It's okay. Nothing to do. Allowing the chalice of your heart to fill and wash over you, fully supported. Moving that energy down to the solar plexus, just below the belly button. Taking a breath. Fill your abdomen with light and air, allowing the diaphragm to full completely. Release. Breathe and hold. Release. Let go. For you are already whole and complete, allowing the quantum consciousness to be fully activated in the 24th chromosome, creating that field within the Unity Field Healing Template to expand, to catch all the plasma rays that our body is able to handle. You are perfect. That energy fully activated in all appendages, your arms and your legs, focusing now in your reproductive organelles, allowing the balance between the divine feminine and the sacred masculine in the reproductive zones. For we give birth every day to our new reality. It's an etheric birth, allowing which wants to come through to rise from the reproductive region into the womb of our soul as we nurture what is to be birthed within us, as we nurture what it is we desire for ourselves, for Mother Earth, for its humans, its creatures, that is within us, and we all must go through labor, but it is coming. Feel the hope of your dreams. Feel the support you have to fulfill your purpose and intention, and allow these mantis light codes to be whispered in your being. Breathing now into the activation of your highest potential of release possible for you. For you are loved, you are guided. Namaste. Thank you so much. Take a few moments to bring yourself to your heart center. And put your hands together at your chest, pushing in your hands with your palms together, feeling your fingertips, feeling the bones of your fingers create contact, feeling the resistance in your wrists, in your forearms, your elbows, your shoulders. Allow this grounding to be present within your body. Breathing down, keep pressing your palms together, breathing the energy down, down into your Earth Star chakra, giving thanks for Gaia. So much gratitude she has for us, helping her, transitioning her to mutual love relationship. Pressing your palms, giving thanks for your halo. You may wish to have that around or take it off, but we are always connected. Giving thanks for yourself, for bringing you here to this moment. Gratitude to give thanks to all of your guides and soul family. And we are complete. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I see all of us with the golden halos. And that was so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. It's
We're
it's it's fun for me to connect. And so I am just one thing I just want to know before we have to finish is the image, the metaphor that sort of came through during that transmission is open the door and step outside. That we all need to, as light workers, need to show up for ourselves and don't be afraid of Target at back to school time, just open the door and step out.
Yes, especially now, all light is needed in all ways, always.
Oh,
Thank you, Candice. What a beautiful metaphor. Again, that is worthy of a sticky note. We've been saying that a lot in this series. Write sticky notes so that we are reminded of the nuggets of gold, wisdom that's coming from each of the speakers here. Thank you. Again, your story is inspirational for all. It reminds us that we're all here in our own ways and that this happens to all of us. We can remember our galactic heritage, our galactic beings, and this halo that you helped us open. I want to say, why do I want to say open? That will increase our communication with our guides. I can sense this. Is that what you're feeling too?
Yeah, that came to me actually. I'm putting a series of meditations with Nana. My grandmother who raised me is 86, and I
Right?
go over to her house every Saturday and I meditate with her. And it
Oh,
was through these meditations that the image of just you put on your halo. She's very religious, Christian background, so she could understand what a halo is. And so they're going to be up. It's me and my Nana. You might hear her snore in the background. They're unedited auto, but it's part of the reality of living in a body that I have to do. And I will be in Vegas at the Salt Room. So if any of your listeners are in Vegas in September 14th, I'll be doing an in-person workshop there as well. And also I'll be in Corvallis, Oregon at Heart Yoga Studios doing an in-person workshop there at the end of August.
wow. I love that. So for those who can join you live in person, you've got the dates there and look into that if you're in the area. I wanted to say how special it is that you are collaborating with your grandmother, your Nana. I think that is really extraordinary. I love it. What wisdom comes through from the two of you collaborating. That really is a soul contract. Now, I want to ask, so your grandmother's open for it, and then you've got your mom, and then you. Where does your mom fall? Is she part of this, or is she like so many others where she's out? She's like, no, you all just do what you do. Where's your mom on that spectrum?
My mom's an atheist, so you know, she's open to the point, but everybody has their own healing to do,
Right.
And she tells me, I went to an astrologer when I was pregnant with you, and she told me you'd be doing something like this. But my mom, she had me when she was 17. So, we had a lot to work through, but my grandmother raised me, and yeah, it's different. I'm different. From
Yeah.
anybody, my family, my sisters. And that's why I encourage light workers, love your family. Love your family. Don't be afraid to open the door to that communication with them. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Thank you for that beautiful reminder.
Yeah.
I
Call
have
your
heard,
mom. I'll say that.
yeah, I've heard someone said the greatest spiritual teachers say, if you really want to work on your ascension, go love your family.
Yeah.
And that there's a lot to unpack from that phrase, but you helped to share the beauty and the wisdom in that. So I thank you for that. So Candice, before we go here, I know people are going to want to work with you. They want to get in your space. They want time with you. And so you've got something coming up here. This is a beautiful special offer that you've got. And it is turning sensitivity into strength. It's spiritual coaching and unity field healing. Tell us about this offer that you've got for us. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. So I do one-on-one sessions where you get about 2 hours with me, an hour in conversation, really helping me learn my family a little bit better, right? Because you are my family and how coaching is. I am call it certified whole person coach, and that's really an aspect of me questioning you because you have the answers within. So previously, actually prior to my walk-in experience, I was a little bit of a psychic, of a seer, but now that gift has sort of ended because what they're telling me is channeling is ending, and so everybody needs to become their own channel.
Oh,
And
I love that.
as channeling wraps up as um, a tool no longer needed, we need to find new tools, and all of that is within. And so part of the coaching is to help you find what tools are yours. and how to express those and how to use those out in the world. And then after about an hour of conversation, and we do a unity field healing session. And this unity field healing, the energy work can always be done without a conversation, and conversations can happen without energy work. And so what I'm putting together for your audience is really a package of both. And so at you can go through your website and get that package of an hour of transformational coaching and conversation, as well as in about an hour and 15 minutes of energy work to first start clearing the blockages and the interferences, which we put there. Nobody else can put those blockages on us, right? So we build up those walls. So that's part of tearing down those walls so we can rebuild a stronger foundation in the light, as an ascended race. So that's what I have. And I also do have a meditation that was given to me to do similar to what we just did with light codes. It's a 12-minute, I believe, meditation with light language and attunement just for the New Earth One Network family. So that meditation you can only get through you, Lauren. So that's a gift as well for this family that we have here.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And so for clarification, are they both, so if someone gets the offer one with you, that coaching and personal time with you, do they also get the option two, or are those separate?
No, they're separate. So the option one is really a personalized meditation that comes with the conversation. So I do record personal meditations and channel and attunements for each individual. And so oftentimes if they request it, I can record that. So that happens in the energy session. And the second offering is sort of a group attunement. As I was tuning into everybody that's in the New Earth One Network family. And I'm like, dear spirit, show me what would be most helpful and channel that energy through me. So that's the meditation uh that's the second offer. Yeah.
Okay, so beautiful. Thank you. These are so affordable for everyone. It's a great way for people to invest in the soul and to do this deep work and to open up into that great wisdom that is in each of us. As we said in the beginning of this program, that wisdom comes up from within us, and you
Mhm.
are really helping and amplifying that skill within us. So we're so thankful for you to share that. I want to direct our audience who's watching and listening to just scroll down on this webpage and check it out, or wherever you're watching this video, in the description box, you'll find a link to get to this special offer from Candice. And we hope that you join in. It's really exquisite and high frequency. You will feel the shift as we felt the shift in our time with Candice today. Candice, thank you so much for being here. I am just elated to meet you. Again, you are, in 2012, I just want to say in hindsight, in 2012, I was one of the many that, went to Peru. And I woke up on 12/21/2012 and said, well, the world is still here. Powers that be are still in charge. What happened? And I cried for a couple of weeks. But when I hear stories like yours, that is such a bold reminder that our world is waking up in remarkable ways, and it's one heart at a time. That's what I heard in the despair of nothing really happened, seemingly in that
Yeah.
2012 gateway. Well, it did happen, and it happens one heart at a time. And you're another indication of that, and what's waiting for all of us who open the door and step through it. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Candice. As we say goodbye, I want to just give you a moment for final thoughts.
Um, hmm. I think every light worker here on this planet that's listening right now, you are so appreciated from Mother Earth. And sometimes we think we have to give mother, give mother, give mother, and don't realize how much she loves us just for being born on her beautiful planet. And despite everything we see, know that empathy and sympathy are judgments that we have of ourselves.
Mm.
And I love the quote, I have it tattooed on my arms, that from the Course in Miracles, that nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists. And herein lies the peace of God. And we're real. Our souls are real. The energy is real. Energy can't be created nor destroyed. So have a little fun, lighten up, know that you are loved and guided, and everything comes out in the wash eventually.
Wow, Candice Davis, thank you so much for sharing your story and the beautiful light work that you are here to amplify on the planet. You are doing a beautiful job, and we are so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Appreciate you. Thank you, everyone.
And thank you all for watching. Your love matters, and your light is so appreciated at the. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.